Hello, everyone. It's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com. Welcome to my Tuesday night live video. I am so excited to have you join me today. It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, 5 p.m. Central Time. We've got people hopping on. Hi, Kim from Pennsylvania. So excited to have you join me tonight. If you're watching live or on the replay, go ahead, leave a comment and say hello. I would love to see it. And I do go back and look at the replay comments, so make sure you leave one. Otherwise, I don't know you were here, and that's sad because, we can't have a party if we don't know the other one's there. Hi, Alicia. Hello, everyone. So I'm super excited about tonight's projects, and just a little tidbit. I usually like to chat for a little while, let this come into news feeds, and we are going to do that. But I did do some extra, I guess, pre-work tonight. Hi, Pam. So, from Pennsylvania as well. Look at that. Hi, cutie puppies from Oregon. So anything that has to be die cut tonight, even if it's a stamped image that gets die cut, I did go ahead and do that ahead of time. My cute niece has a soccer game in 1 hour, and it's about a 30-minute drive away. And so I thought, you know what? Anything that I can do that speeds up just a smidge. I don't want to speed up too much. I don't want to do too much like ahead of time. Hold on, I have an echo. Weird. Hopefully that went away. Anyway, so just so you know, I will show you that as we go though. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's dive in. I am going to show you what we are stamping with today. It is the Sunrise Sailing Bundle, and this is a good one. This is, oh, you're watching from a softball game, Debbie. You are pretty awesome. I'd be way too distracted. I don't know. I get pretty into my niece and nephew's soccer games. So, but it is funny because I take pictures, and so I'm looking at them through the lens, and of course my other eye is open, so if anything's over here I can see it, but whenever the play moves this way, I'm like, I don't know what's happening, what's going on, who scored, why is that a penalty kick? So anyway, all right, so we are playing with Sunrise Sailing. This is an awesome set. This actually came out in May as part of the new online exclusives, and it's a cool bundle because you get the stamps, you get the dies, and it has a hybrid embossing folder, which we are going to use on 2 of our projects tonight. So you can see it die cuts out those, or I'm sorry, embosses out the waves, the boat, and some clouds, and even some birds there. So it's a very cool folder. Oh, look, I have a cloud under here. Who knew? But this sailboat right here, you can actually clip right on into that embossing folder and die cut and emboss at the same time if you want. You can even stamp die cut and emboss at the same time if you want to. So all of the die cutting, all of the embossing I did do ahead of time. We're also going to heat emboss something today, and so I did that ahead of time too. But before we go there, we're going to talk about Card Club because this is also my bundle for Club this month. Now, if you are a club member, I don't know why I have an echo. That is so weird. Hello? I don't know. Hello, everyone. If you are currently a club member and you don't want to see this month's projects, if you want to be surprised when it comes to your mail, close your eyes now. I'll tell you when to open, okay? All right, so if you are not familiar with Club, well, hold on. I have to show you this one. So this month, we're making this cutie. And look, this is a belly band, so this whole thing slides off. Pretty nice, huh? And then it's a cute little pouch there. So anywho, so part of Club, if you're not familiar with Club, I have more details on my website. So you can see the link on the screen, club.stampwithmelissa.com. But you get the supplies to make 8 projects. So these are the projects we're making this month. Hi, Lene. We are going to make 2 of each of these. So you get to make 2 of each of the cards and 2 of the treat bags. So here are all 4 of those projects. You also get a Stampin' Up! Goodie bag. So think like the DSP, the ribbon, the embellishments, stuff like that. You get gifts on your first month. You get gifts every 6 months. You get random surprise gifts a couple times a year because I just see things that are cute and I want to. So I did a little gift. It was mini Tic Tacs in May's Club because that was actually my 4-year anniversary of Club. So that was my 48th Club. Can you believe it? Anyway, so, okay, projects are away if you want to open your eyes if they were closed. But anyway, we'd love to have you join us. It is $45 a month. That is for the recurring subscription. I do also offer it as a one-time club. If you're like, well, I want that kit, but I don't know that I want to commit every month, that's fine. That is $50 a month to do that. But you can head to club.stampwithmelissa.com before June 20th. That's the cutoff, okay? And it's next week, but what day is June 20th? It's Friday. I think it's Friday. Next Friday, June 20th. I'm pretty confident. Yes, it is. It is because this Friday's the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, so if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. Head over to club.stampwithmelissa.com. You can check out all of those details. Yes, Lori says being a club member is a great value. I love my club members so much. We have a Facebook group, we have a birthday list, all of that good stuff. So, all right. So I also, most months, 90% of the time, I like to feature our club bundle during a weekly class to go. So that's what we are doing today. Today's projects are not the same as club, so you're going to get lots of ideas. This is a fun way where I like to offer for my club members. I call it the expansion pack as well. So if they are not a demo, because if you're a demo, you should buy this bundle from yourself. But if they are not a demo and they want to, pick up this bundle, this is a good way to get a few extra cards to make. So we are going to make these 4 cards together today, and I love them. I think this bundle is so easy to work with, so fun. So here's that hybrid embossing folder right there, and then you can see it on this card as well. So I love. Yes, Tina. Tina's got me covered. She said 1L 2 S's. Yes, that's right. Stampwithmelissa.com. 1L 2 S's. If you do 2 L's and 1 S or 2 L's and 2 S's, you're not going to get there. Anyway, so if you would like these 4 projects, that is part of my weekly class to go. So if you place an order of $50 or more before tax and shipping and after any of your Stampin' rewards are redeemed, place that order in my online store, which is shop.stampwithmelissa.com. By the end of the day, this Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th, dun, dun, dun. Instead of, a bad luck day, you're going to have a really good luck day because you're going to get these 4 cards from me for free. So card kits. So we are going to make them together tonight. So you'll see what the card kits look like. But you are going to get those as a free thank you gift from me for placing that order with me. So again, that's shop.stampwithmelissa.com, 1L 2 S's, or you can click the link in the description of the video. I do also I've been doing this for the last few months. I've been putting the supplies that I recommend as a link in the description. If you click on that, it will add everything to your cart. Delete out what you don't want or what you already have, okay? There's no good way for me to share a list like that without it just auto adding to your cart. And so I know that's a little bit wonky and you might look at your total and go, excuse me, but just delete out whatever. So, okay, let's go ahead. We are going to craft. So we've got a Night of Navy card base. By the way, if you do place that order, you're also going to get a detailed PDF tutorial. So that's pretty fun too. You're going to have an embossed piece of Night of Navy. This is the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. You're going to have a square die cut from Basic White with the Stylish Shapes dies. We're going to stamp on that. And then these pieces I pre-die cut. I pre-die cut. My mic sounds weird. Well, I have an echo too. So hopefully, I hate to say it, Tina. I hope it's just you. But if it's not just me, I have an echo, but I don't know what it's from. I wonder. Hold on. How about that? Does that sound better? I had both of my microphones on. Yikes. Well, I hope that's better. Thanks, Tina. It probably was me then. All right. Anyway, so you will have some balmy blue to die cut out your waves, some cloud cover to die cut out your clouds, some crumb cake to die cut out your cute little sailboats here, and then some calypso coral to die cut out your sails. So much better. Good. I'm so glad. That was a total rookie mistake. I was like, I can hear an echo and I don't get why. There you go. Hopefully you could understand what I was saying at least before. Fingers crossed. Okay, so let's go ahead and we are going to start with stamping. So I have my Secret C ink pad and we are going to stamp Ahoy. How cute is that? Ahoy up in that upper right hand corner. Okay, that's all of the stamping on this whole card. Look at that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We are going to grab out, don't you worry though, we're going to use that messy scrap paper like a lot today. We're going to grab out our silicone craft mat because we have some adhering to do. And I like to stick with my tape if I can. And so yeah, we're going to use the silicone craft mat to catch any of that extra adhesive. Okay. All right. So I added some seal on the back of these balmy blue waves and I'm going to lay one down. And you can see I'm not putting it all the way at the bottom. This one is going to cover part of the bottom. So I wanted this one to be raised just a smidge more. Okay, and we're going to keep that on the silicone mat. But this one I've got tape up. I'm going to move off for a second because we're going to adhere down our sails. Now the straight triangles, not the like wavy part, right? The part of the sail that's hit by the wind. We're going to add some adhesive on these straight edged triangles here. And then that is what's going to be adhered to that crumb cake piece. And it lines up pretty much perfectly. Oh, do you see how I tried to pick that up like this had adhesive on it? Oh, Melissa. Anywho. Okay, so there we go. We've got those. And then these are going to get adhered before we add that other wave because I want one of them to kind of be like in between the waves, you know, so it looks a little bit more realistic. So we are just going to add a bit of seal and add these on. Oh, come here. Okay, so I'm going to put this one like there-ish. Looks good to me. And then this guy will come, and you can have this under or over. Because it's smaller, I picture it as it's farther off in the distance. So I'm going to do it like that, and then we're going to add this wave, and I have a little bit of exposed adhesive coming through. So I just rolled that back with my finger. So stick this down, and this wave I'm lining up with that bottom edge of our square. Okay, then we'll just use our snips to trim off the excess. You guys, so I had my team meeting last night, and I was telling them how like when I use a technique, I tend to go all in on that technique for a while until I like move on to something else and then I forget about it. Well, I think square cards are what I'm like really into again. I feel like we did quite a few last year, and I don't know, we did one a couple weeks ago with the Notes and Totes bundle, and then when I designed this, I was like, I'm going to do another square card because I really like them. All right, I added some seal to the back of that embossed piece, and we'll add that to our card front. Fold and burnish. Whoop, we'll do the back side. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to add my clouds. Okay, so I'm just adding some seal, and you can just like, this doesn't have any adhesive on it yet, but I know it's going to sit right about here, so I'm just going to sneak those clouds in where I know I want them to sit, just like that. Okay, all right, then we're going to take our square and add some dimensionals. Okay, I really I'm like out of this is actually kind of funny. I am out of mail birthday cards, so I am really excited for this week's projects because I think you'll have some really great ones for your stash. And yeah, I sent a dinosaur card to like a 50-year-old man this week. I know he'll appreciate it, but I was like, this is all I have. This is what he's gonna get. Anywho, I know he'll get a kick out of it. He'll enjoy it. So it was okay. Like it worked out, but I was like, oy vey. Okay, you could understand me earlier. It just sounded weird. Okay, I'm glad you at least could understand what I was saying. And I do apologize for that. Dang it. Okay, so I've got this white woven ribbon here, and I want to tie a cute little knot. But when I did my original one, I thought that just one knot, it didn't look bulky enough for me. Like I just wanted it to be a little bit more substantial of a knot. So we're actually double knotting this. And you can see I didn't measure the ribbon. I just tied it on the spool here. And then we can just trim off some of the excess. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to use a glue dot to add this to our card. How fun is this one? Quick, simple, easy to just sit and die cut out all those pieces like while you're watching TV or something, or at a softball game. You bring your mini machine and just crank out the dies. And there is our first card. How fun is that one? I know the colors on this one are really pretty, and I am loving like finding what cloud cover works with. It works with a lot more than you think it would. Like sometimes I look at it and I'm like, well, that's really cute, but what does it go with other than secrecy? So I've been having a lot of fun like mixing and matching colors for that one for sure. Okay, so there's that card. Here's our second card. This one might be my favorite this week. I don't know what it is about it, but man, I just really like this card. And again, you're destined for great things. While I will probably use it as a birthday card, you can use it for so many different occasions. So we've got a balmy blue card base. We've got a balmy blue layer that is embossed with that Soft Waves embossing folder. We've got a Secret C panel, and I think that just really elevated this. Like, wow, that image just pops, don't you think, with that mat? So then this piece is actually die cut. You can see around the edges there. This is die cut from the Textured Notes dies out of Basic White. When I had just this on there, I was like, yeah, that's nice, but it kind of seems like it's missing something. So I layered it with that, and I just really love it a lot. So then you'll have some Basic White to stamp and die cut your sailboat. Now, I did do all of the die cutting tonight ahead of time. So I did stamp the sailboat in Secret Sea, and then I just die cut that out. We have some more stamping that we'll do on it together. And then you'll have this banner die cut from the Nested Essentials dies for our sentiment. So let's go ahead. We are going to stamp, actually on all of the Basic White pieces, we're going to stamp. So we're going to need our messy scrap paper, okay? Okay. Are you joining me for this challenge? Because I know several of you are, and I'm really excited about it. So I am going to start with my Secret Sea ink pad. We're going to start with our sentiment here on this Basic White banner. And I've got that already mounted here, and I'm going to stamp this as close to the right-hand side as I can. Okay, just like that. And that is not straight, but it's okay because it's handmade, so it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Right. All right, then we've got this, which I think it's the hull. I was going to say the mast, and I was like, that is not right. We've got the hull here. This is the wooden part of the boat. And I'm going to ink this up in Secret Sea, stamp it off, and then I'm going to get my head right over this. We're going to stamp that down right inside of the sailboat there. Okay. And then we can close up our Secret Sea. And I'm going to grab Calypso Coral because I had to keep that beautiful color combo from the first card. Ink up our sails here. And then again, I'm going to get my head over this, but we're just going to stamp that right inside the sails there. How cute is that? I love that they gave us those stripes for layering. Okay, and then are you ready for the messy scrap paper to get truly messy? We are going to take that Basic White die cut piece. We've got this fun wave stamp. There's actually two of them. There's also this one. So you can choose whichever one you want, but I'm going to do the one that goes straight across, thinking calmer waters here. And I'm going to grab my balmy blue ink pad. And I'm going to ink this up and stamp this. And maybe about an inch of the way up. Okay, we're going to stamp that down. And then, oh, here they are. I'm like, where did it go? I'm going to grab my blending brush. This is my light blue blending brush. So when we had boho blue, I used that with this. I used balmy blue with this. Actually, I have a different one for pool party just because it's a little bit more teal, but this is my blending brush for light blues. And I am just blending on some color here up to that top water line. And it is tone on tone, but that blending brush really makes it a lot more subtle, so you can still see the waves through there really well. So we're just going to add on our water. How fun is that? I just love that. And it gets our messy scrap paper messier. So that's always a win, right? Yeah, I think so. All right, then we can go ahead and adhere. So I'm going to start with that embossed piece. Add some seal on the back. And because it's textured, we want to add lots of adhesive. And then we'll add this to our card front. Okay, I love the Waves embossing folder a lot. It just goes so well. Even when you're trying not to do something with water, it pairs together super well. So, all right, then we're going to take this Basic White die cut piece and layer this onto our Secret Sea layer. Just look how good that looks, don't you think? All right, then I'm going to take our banner and we are going to add some dimensionals on the back. And one more. Okay, and then we're going to fit on our banner before we adhere this down. Because if we adhered this first, I'd probably put this here. But then my banner to not hide that sentiment would definitely be sticking off the edge of the card, right? So I want to make sure the edge of the banner here is probably going to go right to the edge of the card, and that's all right. But then, you know, you have your piece that fits here and it's not quite off the edge, okay? Because I don't know, I still think that this looks really nice being as close to the edge as it is, but I just wanted to like eyeball it. So right around here, we want to make sure we don't have much in the way because we've got this piece in our way here. So I'm going to add a dimensional in each corner, and then we'll still add one in the middle, but I'm going to go over to towards the left-hand side a little more to avoid hitting that banner. And if you wanted to, you could run some seal over here because that will stick down. I know, I love this bundle too, Linda. I do too. Okay, so then, you know what? I'm going to move this down a little. I didn't push hard, so I can peel it. And I ripped the cardstock a little, but it's okay because I'm going to move it down and it'll still be covered. I put it up a little bit too high for my liking. Okay, there we go. And we'll add this on. And I did put this at a slant because I wanted to. But if you don't want to put yours at a slant, that's all right. You can put it on straight as well. Okay, and then we're going to take some dimensionals for our sailboat. And I got my minis out for the hull. Okay, because it's not too skinny down here, but it's a little bit skinnier. So we'll peel off those backings, and then this is going to go right on that water line. How beautiful. I love this card so much. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's easy to swap out the colors. I just love it. All right, so these are the neutral matte dots, and we are going to use the white ones. And I'm going to stick one big and one little, just like that. And that is our second card. What do you think of this one? I really love this card. Like a lot. Like, you know, when you make that card, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the colors. I don't know, but you know, when you make the card and then you're like, oh, that one has to go to someone I really, really care about. That's that one for me. I don't know. It might be weird, but yeah. All right, so then we're going to make this card. Now, this card is actually one I did as a swap card a few months ago when we had the pre-order for this. So I did this as a swap card with a couple of other demos. So I kept this one simple, and I thought, you know what? Simple is beautiful, and I'm excited to share it with you. So we've got a Secret Sea card base. We've got a basic white mat. We've got a cloud cover piece here, and I embossed this with the hybrid embossing folder. Now, if you take the class to go from me, one thing that I don't do is I don't die cut or stamp. I can't ever stamp anything for you because that's against policy, but I don't die cut anything using the featured bundle. So for this, you will have to die cut this, but you'll have the emboss it. But you'll have the cloud cover cardstock to do that. So you will have that. Then you'll have some basic white for your sailboat. So again, I stamped, just like our last card, I stamped this in Secret Sea and die cut it out. You'll have a part of that basic white. Then you'll also have a strip that you'll want to cut for your sentiment. And you'll want to die cut out one of the clouds. It can be a larger cloud or the little cloud here. So we are going to start with stamping, and I'm going to take that sailboat. And just like on that last card, we are going to use our Secret Sea for the hull, and we're going to stamp it off. So we will open up that Secret Sea ink pad, ink, stamp that down, and I'm going to get my head over this and stamp that hull stamped off. I love it. I love the look of that. Oops, we're going to keep Secret Sea out. I almost put it away. All right, then on this banner here, we've got the sentiment that says, "You deserve the best." And we are going to stamp that just right in the middle. Okay, and then you can trim this down however you'd like. I might trim down the sides of mine just a smidge. Maybe even, can I do it by my eyeball? Let me see. That's about 1/2 inch. That's a smidge over 1/2 inch. Do you think I can do it with my snips and keep it straight-ish? Let's find out. Okay, I think that doesn't look too bad. Pat on the back, because that's like a miracle. Okay, let's go ahead. We are going to adhere this. So I'm going to start by adding some seal to that cloud cover layer. And then we're going to mat this on basic white. Okay, just like so. And I love when we have bundles, when Stampin' Up! Comes out with bundles that have the die cut pieces and the stamped pieces, because there's like no end to what you can do, right? And then you can mix and match things. Like I stamped this, but you could just die cut, right? Or you could emboss and die cut, or like there's so many possibilities with this set. I love it. So there's our card front. Then I'm going to take our sailboat. Now you'll notice there is a sailboat embossed in here, right? Because you can use that hybrid embossing folder piece. You can snap that die into place and emboss your die cut piece, which is pretty neat. But instead I stamped this. So we are going to just add this over where it's embossed. Okay, so it's kind of got that placement for us already. We're just going to add it right on top. How cute is that, right? All right, then we will take our cloud and add some seal. And then there's some birds here. Sorry, birds, I'm going to cover you. But we're just going to kind of tuck it in. I have some dimensionals there that are blocking the way, so I'm going to stick that right about there. Okay, and then I thought that this, I mean, yeah, Christmas, right? But I thought that this would be really, really pretty. And then my upline, Kristen Bryant, actually also did a swap card with this set, and she used the same twine. So great minds think alike. But this is the real red and white baker's twine. I'm going to cut maybe like 10 inches, I think. And we are going to do a faux bow. It's been a while since we've done a faux bow. So right down here in the waves, I'm just adding a little bit of seal. And I'm grabbing those two ends with my left hand, the loop with my right. We are going to stick that down. And then use your fingers here to loop this around. So it looks like we tied a bow, but we didn't actually have to do any of the hard work. All right, then we'll take that sentiment and add some dimensionals. I don't really want to put any dimensionals on top of that twine, so I'm just using 2 here so I can kind of split the difference. So they're not quite on the edge. If they were on the edge, I'd put one in the middle, but I don't want anything right on top. Oh, rookie mistake. I don't want anything right on top of that there, so I just kind of spaced it out a little bit. And then we can stick that right on down and finish this one off with some textured dots, or the secret C dots would also be really pretty with this. I'm just going to stick one here and one here, just like that. And that is our third card. What do you think of this one? I love this one too. I think it's really pretty, really simple. Again, a great birthday card. You can tell, right? Good birthday cards, right? All right, this one we can't use as a birthday card because it's a congratulations card, but this one is really, really pretty. And I love this. So every Tuesday, Stampin' Up! Sends an email out to demonstrators, and sometimes they have like card ideas in there. Well, usually always there's card ideas. So I actually got this idea from Stampin' Up! And I thought it was so lovely. So I cased it. It's not exactly the same as theirs, but I cased it and I wanted to make it tonight with you because it's been a while since we've done ink blending. I know we just did some on the second card, but I thought it would be fun. So let's do it. All right. So for this one, we've got a thick basic white card base. We've got a basic white layer here. So again, you'll emboss this with the Sunrise Sailing embossing folder, and that's what we're going to ink blend on. And then you're going to have some Secret C to die cut out your sailboat. So I did that ahead of time. This one is, my microphone sounds weird again. There's been no change, Joan, so I'm not sure why this time. I didn't press any buttons this time. So hopefully it's all right, but but I don't know, let me know, somebody else, if it's not. I'm not sure what to do if it's not though. Hi Wendy. Anyway, I die cut this out, and you can see I just die cut this. I didn't emboss it. I didn't stamp it. This is just the die cut because I wanted it to look like a silhouette. And then with your Secret C, you will also stamp your sentiment here and heat emboss. It's better now. Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. Technology. All right, so I heat emboss this with white embossing powder, and you're going to have some basic white to die cut out both of the clouds. Okay. All right, so we are going to start that. We are going to do some stamping, but first we're going to do some ink blending. So get ready because we are going to messy up the scratch paper. Okay, so we've got this. What are we going to use? We are going to start with Balmy Blue for our waves. Okay, so I'm going to open up my Balmy Blue, grab my light blue blending brush, pick up that ink, and then we're going to blend this on. Now I start off on my scrap paper instead of starting right on my basic white piece, because it can get kind of blotchy if you've got a lot of ink on there or whatever. It can just leave a little bit of a blotch, and I just don't love that look. Now, because we're ink blending this onto a piece that's already embossed, you are going to see some of that. Like some of the areas where the waves are has a little bit darker of a color. And you can keep going with this for as long as you want until it's to your liking. Okay, I think I'm going to add a little bit more around the edges. So you can press hard, you can press light, whatever you want to do, okay? And just play with it. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Okay, so we've got that added. Then we are going to use Pretty in Pink. Okay, and that's going to go kind of like in the midsection, right? Because this is, you can choose sunrise or sunset. I'm envisioning it as a sunset, but it can be a sunrise as well. So this is my light pink blending brush. And we're just going to come on, and you can see where I'm mixing with the Balmy Blue, it's turning purple. And I'm okay with that. But if you are like, no, I want it to just be pink and just be blue, and you want that difference, like you can actually use like Post-it note tape or cover it a little bit with your scrap paper just to help kind of, I don't know, make the distinction between the two areas. And I'm not worried about coloring in that sailboat because we are going to cover it with the die cut one. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to finish off with Highland Heather for the top. When you ink blend, your color is going to be a little bit lighter than the color of the ink, right? This doesn't, you can tell it's Highland Heather, but it's much lighter than if you just stamped Highland Heather. So I started off initially with this one. I used Fresh Freesia and I did not love it. It was not dark enough for me. Even though, you know, you look at the actual ink color and you think that's going to be perfect. No, go darker. Okay, so let's add, again, I am blending a little bit into that petal pink. Okay. And I think I might have used a brown blending brush. I don't know. I don't know what color I used with this before, but I'm looking at my purple over there going, it's okay. The purple is outweighing the brown. Now I have two purple blending brushes, right? Right. All right. There you go. And you just keep going till you have it how you like it. But I like it. So that's where we are going to have our piece. How pretty, right? It's just a subtle, and our messy scrap paper. It's subtle and I love it. I think it's cute. So we can go ahead and adhere this. I am going to add some seal on the back of this piece. And then we are going to adhere this to our card front. And I started with a basic white base because I think it just really pops up that off that card base. All right, burnish that. And then we are going to add our sailboat with some dimensionals. And just like the last few, I'm going to add those minis down in the hull. Okay. And layer that right there, right over that embossed one. So on that third card, I put it more to the right. This one, it's more to the left. So it's really personal preference wherever you want it. But I love the look of it. And then we're going to add our clouds. So I'm going to add some seal. And these are going to sneak in. And look at it, just pops again, right? We've got those embossed clouds, but these ones just They pop. They wow. I hope you guys like those, my effects tonight. My pops, not wows. All right, then I'm going to pull in my Secret Sea ink pad, and we've got this cute little bird stamp. And I wanted to just add a couple of birds. So I know usually you don't, stamp after things are adhered, but it's photopolymer. And so I had some confidence, and it didn't go too bad. So, all right, then this is the point where you'd heat emboss your sentiment, which of course I did do that ahead of time. And I'm just going to chop off the edge at an angle. I'm going to use this piece that I cut off, and I'm going to kind of stick this over here so that I know my snips are running parallel to it. Okay, so I have about the same angle there. How fun is that, right? You can also use your trimmer to do that. And then we'll add some dimensionals to the back here. Peel off the backings. And then we're going to pop this up onto the card. How cute. I actually had a coworker who just retired last week, and I have not yet sent her a card, so I might have to send her this one. All right, these are the two-tone sparkle gems. They are gorgeous. They've got like blues and purples in them. Super pretty. So I thought it would really pull out our sky and our water here. So I'm going to grab one big one and set it here, and one little one right there. And that is our fourth and final card. What do you think of this one? I super love each of them. They're beautiful. I love this bundle, like, does the work for you, right? These are not overly difficult. They're not super simple cards by any means, but they're not overly difficult. And it's just the pieces, they just work together so well. Oh, that is lovely too. Darlene says she lives 10 minutes from a lake. So this is a perfect card. Yes, I love that. That is so sweet too. And who wouldn't love it, right? They're going to open it and be like, oh my gosh, it's like me. And think of even like the scrapbook pages you could use with the sailboats. Oh, that would be so pretty too. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this week. I hope you loved these cards, these projects, as much as I do. And you have to tell me which one is your favorite. I do really like all of them, but I still lean towards this one. For some reason, there's something about it. I really love it. I love all of them, but this one has my heart. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me tonight. As a reminder, if you would like the card kits to make these 4 cards at home, you can get that as a free thank you gift from me this week when you place an order in my online store. So head to shop.stampwithmelissa.com, 1 L, 2 S's. And you can order whatever you want, $50 or more before tax and shipping. And after your Stampin' Rewards, because hello, Stampin' Rewards are pretty awesome. I'm pretty pleased every time I log into my account after I place an order and I'm like, oh, I have more money that's like free. It's kind of an awesome feeling, huh? So if you get that order in by the end of the day, this Friday, June 13th, I will get these shipped out to you early next week. So you have them to craft and create this summer. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for the good luck on the games. Yes, hopefully my niece wins. She's played not this team, but a team in this league before, and they like destroyed my niece's team. So we're hoping tonight's better. That's why she needs her aunt there to cheer her on, right? So anyway, thanks for joining me, everyone. I will catch you live again next week, unless you're joining us this weekend for Creative Escape, our retreat. Then I'll see you on Saturday for a day of crafty fun. But otherwise, I'll see you later. Bye for now.